and let us all beseech the blessing of Almighty God upon this great and noble undertaking.
June 6, 2019 is the 75th anniversary of D-Day, the day when American and Allied troops invaded the shores of Normandy. The harrowing invasion was the first step toward the liberation of German-occupied France and would eventually lead to the salvation of all Europe from Nazi domination. Americans take great pride in D-Day, and United States presidents often mark its anniversary with rousing speeches and public displays. But there was one president who did not publicly commemorate D-Day the way most do. General Dwight D. Eisenhower was the officer who commanded the troops on that mission. Nearly 4,500 Allied troops died that day as a direct result of his order. Years later, when General Eisenhower became President Eisenhower, it fell to him to commemorate D-Day. But when D-Day's 10th anniversary came around, President Eisenhower retreated into privacy. He made the appropriate statement, as the commander-in-chief should, but he made his statement in writing. As reported at the New York Times, the president's memories of that day had caused him to break down in public at least once before. In a little-remembered incident during the 1952 presidential campaign, when Eisenhower, who usually kept his emotions under lock and key, spoke to a World War II veterans audience about those soldiers, he was so overwhelmed by grief that he covered his face with a handkerchief. How did the old soldier commemorate D-Day? With deep humility and with an explicitly Christian reverence for the sacrifice made by the soldiers under his command. On the day of the operation, he called it the Great Crusade. The hope and prayers of liberty-loving people everywhere march with you, he told the Allied troops. You will bring about the destruction of the German war machine, the elimination of Nazi tyranny over the oppressed peoples of Europe, and security for ourselves in a free world. On this 75th anniversary of D-Day, General Eisenhower can help us to understand the commemoration a little better, as an occasion to commit ourselves anew to what those soldiers died for. 75 years ago, General Eisenhower said to all the Allied forces under his command, "Let us beseech the blessing of Almighty God upon this great and noble undertaking." Today, surrounded with the blessings of peace and freedom, we thank God for hearing his prayer. This has been an episode of CVTV. Subscribe to CVTV on YouTube, follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and sign up at catholicvote.org/loop.